Hello guys and welcome back, and I'm on a little bit of a rescue mission here. I've got a baby rabbit here. Don't worry, I'm holding him safe and everything like that. Yeah, I'm about to go and release him. One of our cats has caught him. I've looked him over, he's got some fur missing, but that's about it. There's no deep cuts or puncture wounds. So I'm about to release him, but I'm going to release him in a little bit of a warren up in the hedge to give him his best fighting chance of survival. It's not worth, you know, doing the vet and everything like that, because basically he's looking a-okay other than really startled. Another few moments with the cat and it would have been curtains, but we've managed to get him, and yeah, we'll release him and hopefully he will survive. Yeah, so here he is. He's obviously this year's, so there's a few, as you can see, a bit of hair missing there, but there's no puncture wounds, so he'll be good to go. I can feel his heart racing, but I'll find a rabbit hole up here and let him, well, release him there. So I'm actually trying to find a rabbit hole in this warren, in this hedge, but as you can see, it's overgrown because obviously it's all the summer and spring growth. So I'm just going to find what I can think is a hole or a run, and then I'm going to release him. Right, I found a hole here, and there he is. I know that might not look too pretty, but he was just about dead. There's no puncture wounds. Yeah, he's still pretty good. Let's release him and let him go on his way. There he goes, straight in. And that's unfortunately the brutal reality of cats, and I've discussed this, I think, last year, possibly, about rabbits, cats and wildlife. If you've got cats and you live in a rural area, even an urban area, they will hunt even if you feed them. And we've got 2 cats, but we don't plan to ever have any more than one. Quite simply because they're not the most environmentally friendly animal to have, due to the fact that they're I don't personally, my take on cats is, you know, there should never be an area heavily overloaded with them, because they are efficient hunters, and the native wildlife does actually suffer if there is a big population of cats in the area. Now, I do feel we've given him his best chance, so hopefully that will allay some fears you may have. I'm certainly happy that we've given it its best chance, and there's a lot of rabbits here. In fact, I couldn't even tell you where it was probably caught, because the cats range pretty much for 500 meters in a complete radius around our house. Now, this paddock here has a lot of rabbits, but bringing you along here, this hedgerow all the way along here is absolutely pickled, or there's thousands of them. You know, it could be along there, either side, in the hedge behind that, even further up there. Going up over the hill here, rabbits run across the road here, and there's fields out over there. It could have been caught. This is a small paddock behind our property actually, and there are a lot of rabbits in here. The grass is just getting that little bit too tall to see them. But you will occasionally at night hear squealing coming from this field, and it's unfortunately a rabbit that's been caught by a fox, stoat, weasel, or possibly a cat. So yeah, we do feel kind of a little bit sorry for the cat, because obviously it's its nature, and obviously we've taken it from it and it's skulking around the front garden. It'll probably do that for the next hour, and it'll be a little bit wary of me, because obviously I just walked up to it, quickly grabbed the cat and took the rabbit away from it, so he's going to be a bit wary of me. But if I can, I do save them, but I think I've said before, sometimes I'm just too late and it's half eaten. Yeah, it's just something to bear in mind if you're going to become a new cat owner, that you know, do you really need to be a cat owner if there's a lot of cats in your area already? And on top of that, you know, if you do have a cat, be prepared to deal with these situations, and you know, it's unpleasant on some occasions. Now that's one of ours, but that wasn't the one with the rabbit. I think he must have shot off, whether he's gone on another hunting mission. Well, I've just come into the workshop and there he is. Yeah, he's allowed me to get near him, so he's not too upset. But he'll probably be out tonight and he'll probably get another one. But there's just nothing we can do about it. We have tried putting collars on the cats, but our cats, just because they're in such a rural area, they would get hung up in hedges and caught up in barbed wire and things like that. So unfortunately, this is what we're dealing with. So this basically is the entrance to the workshop, and the cats live here. They come and go on their own accord through the cat flap, but we do feed them. Like I said, you know, they have access to food and it's always here, and they sleep up there. You know, they can come and go as they like. They've got all the freedom in the world. See, I've got a cat flap in the bottom of the door. So, you know, they've got a brilliant life for cats. And there he goes. He's about to go off again. Up on the roof. He's looking down. He'll be off on his travels in a moment. So basically, we just turned up and the cat and the rabbit were on our front lawn. Now, we've been out for the day, kids' party, so, you know, it wasn't something that really wanted to deal with, but it's all taken care of now. And I'm taking Bracken out for his walk up this hill, and my kids call this hill the top of the world, because we have a nearly 360-degree viewpoint of basically our bit of North Cornwall, and even into Devon. So yeah, we're going to get up there before the weather closes in. This is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Take care, stay safe, and I hope you can do a good deed as well. All the best. Well, I got up at 5, I've had breakfast and got all my self together, and I'm about to get a surfboard. I'm going for a very quick surf. I've got shed loads here to do today. We're moving, you know, bits and bobs around the house. And you're finding stuff from all parts of your life, and we're basically having a declutter downscale, sorting everything out. But as you can see, it's not prime surf weather. It's grey, miserable. There's another weather front on its way in. Yeah, so I'm going to hit a spot on the coast I haven't showed you before. Extremely nice part of Cornwall, but I've got to get my surfboard and get my stuff together, feed the chickens, and hit the road. Yeah, it's all really gloomy and everything like that, but I've into the workshop. I've got, interestingly, a couple pictures of old sailing ships there. I'm going to put them up in the workshop. I've got one on the wall which I pulled out, which is an old tin mine from the Cornwall. I've also got a collection of the Surfer's Path magazines. I've got the complete collection. They did 100 and they stopped. So I've got the complete collection, and I'm really proud of that because it's from my era and it represents a time in my life where, surfing wasn't just everything, it was pretty much me. So surfing still is, but obviously it's a enhancement to my life. It's, I do have other things going on, as you know. I've told you this one's got damage, so I'm not taking that one. And as you go to the one below it, that's another good board, but I'm not fully on that one at the moment. And the other ones I'm not taking. I've had a couple restored behind there. I'll be using this old battered one which the kids use, quite simply because there could potentially be a lot of holiday makers and people around. So if they run into me or damage my board, it's no big deal. This is what we call a Frankenstein board. It's so damaged and battered, and I've repaired it, haphazardly and just got it back in the water. It really does, from a surfer's point of view, you would understand why we call it the Frankenstein board. And it does its job, and that's why it will remain here for that particular role. I'm actually hoping to be back here home before the kids get fully, awake and doing their bits and bobs. It is a Sunday, so people will be lying in, which, is quite handy for me to escape, really, for this period of time. But it does mean pushing myself at these random times when most people wouldn't be considering going for a surf. But I'm doing the chickens quite simply so nobody else has to. And here they are. Oh, they're waiting for me. Right. Gotta do that water. We've been given this old Titanic bell. Now, obviously, it's not a real one. This here is a reproduction. I should imagine, even if there was a bell like this on the Titanic, I don't know. But it's just an interesting little feature. My boys want it put up in their bedroom. I'm not sure that's a good idea, but anyway, let's get this surfboard out. Now, there was a time this would have really frustrated me, having to dig this board out and then get it back through the workshop, get it through the doors and back out to the car. Like I said, there was a time I just would have been, hated this, because it would literally, everything would be such a rush. Get to the coast as fast as I can. I'm going to take my surf boots. It's not cold, I don't need them. Don't know, I'm just gonna take them. I might take a hood actually, just to help keep my neck warm. These have been left in way too long and I can feel the sun's got them. I need new. I'm going to get some for this to get me through this winter. You can see they're knackered, but hey, let's get going. Got a bucket, and that's quite important. I used to just chuck my wetsuits in the boot of the car. Well, you can imagine the salt water has literally just rotted out quite a lot of my cars in the boot area. Right, I'm all loaded, and as you can see, it's coming from the back of the boot area right the way to the front. I could put it on the roof. I can't be arsed with that. I just want to get down the coast. So I've got all my kit. I'm about to head out now. Right, I'm all loaded up and I'm going to shoot off. Like I said, I was up around about 5, but it's now 6. That's quite simply because I've made myself a cup of tea. I've run out of coffee at home, and that should never happen. So I'm on tea. I like a coffee first thing in the morning. But anyway, I've got myself going. I'm kick-starting the day. I've got to go down, get a surf and get back to get on with family life. And like I said, on top of that, we've got this massive, I'm going to call it a spring clean, but if I say it's probably 10, 15, 20 times what that is, or what most people spring clean, this is probably a midlife crisis clean and sort out, I'll say that. But yeah, we're getting it done, and that'll be nice. But my wife isn't able to do the majority of the lifting and things like that, so that all falls to me. So moving the furniture, sorting stuff out. Basically, she's telling me what she wants kept, and the kids' stuff, and I'm doing all the I'll use the word donkey work, really. But it's time consuming, and we've managed to accumulate, I'm 53 and I've got a lifetime's worth of stuff to go through. She's a bit younger than me, but she's been a little bit of a hoarder through her life. So it's quite a wrench for her to sort out what she wants to keep and doesn't want to keep. But we've reached that point in our house and in our lives. It's time to, we've got the photos, we've got the memories, but we have to let go of some of the material things. This never used to be a chore, getting up at 5, because I worked in a factory, and it's ingrained in my head. I get up early, but unlike when I was younger, getting up early means by 9, 10 o'clock I can quite honestly say that you could possibly find me asleep on the sofa while we're watching a film. But hey, that's just how life moves forward. But I'm going to get on the road now, enough waffle, and get this done so I can get back and crack on with my day here. See you there. Well, the weather window has actually come in. I live on the east side of Bodmin Moor, and I'm swinging around to more of a westerly direction. I'm basically doing a loop. I'm going to come up onto Davidstow Moor. Now, I'm being buffeted by winds, rain, mist and fog. Where I'm going to go and surf, it can handle these conditions right the way through the tidal ranges and everything like that. I can surf up here in these conditions in North Cornwall at certain spots, but they're more dependent on certain time windows of the tidal ranges and things like that. And I don't have time to wait today. I really need to go and surf and get back. So yeah, the conditions are a little bit horrendous today, but that's just what you got to put up with. But not very good weather, and all the holiday makers that are down here, well, if they're tenting, they're going to be waking up pretty wet and soggy. And even if you're in a caravan or a chalet, they're literally going to have to find indoors things to do today. It's absolutely bucketing down. Well, I'm on Davidstow Airfield, and as you can see, it's miserable, it's wet, there's fog, there's no visibility at all. This weather is absolutely really turned. It's horrendous now. The car is actually rocking with the amount of wind that's buffeting it. But I'm probably going to have no shortage of waves where I'm going to. Well, I'm here now, and I've been coming here a long time, and what I'm seeing here isn't what it was when I first started surfing here. But hey, it is progress, I think they call it. You got cameras on a post there. Parking is heavily monitored. It's you used to be able to get the odd surf here and not get caught up for having to pay. I know that sounds a bit, well, everybody should pay, but as a surfer in Cornwall, it was just the perk. When you were here, you could just grab a quick wave, but hey, that's long since disappeared. Right, I'm here. As you can see, the weather hasn't improved. This isn't sunny California. This is Cornwall at its worst. But there is a wave there. If you're wondering why it isn't bigger, well, the simple fact is this is a sheltered bay. So a lot of the swell misses it as it marches up the coast or hits the headlands that protect it. So yeah, this is why you come here in these conditions, because it's sheltered. But I've just paid. I've begrudgingly got my ticket, and there is a few spots on the road, but they will be shut down by the council, and there's 2 or 3 vans with guys unloading now, but that's short-lived. Enjoy that while you still can do that, because that's going to disappear. Yeah, now that guy further up there, like I say, good on him for getting what he can while he can. You used to be able to park in this car park up until about this sort of time of day and actually get a surf before the guy who was in that hut used to actually charge you as you came in. But yeah, those days are long since gone. But anyway, I'm going to get changed. Well, there she is, all battered, but it's still going to get me into a few waves. Well, I'm sat in a car park. Why didn't I do any more filming? The wind is horrendous. Trees are now swaying like that, and I don't have any facilities to even make it worthwhile trying to record. Yeah, I grant you, a lot of people would be saying I wouldn't even do that for a month of Sundays, but it's just something that I've done all my life. I enjoy the ocean, and I enjoy being in the ocean. And what I done there, I grabbed a few waves. That'll be enough to keep me going till I get better conditions, and it's perfect surfing weather. Nice long rides on beautiful walled up waves. But that will keep me going, like I said. Like I always do when I finish a surf, I'll probably get myself a coffee and a chocolate bar or a bit of cake and eat on the way home. It's just my thing. I do it, kind of like tops off my surfing experience, and I enjoy it. But I'm in this car park here, and where I've surfed is near Padstow. Now, Padstow is quite an affluent town for the rich and famous and the yachting set, and you would really struggle to think there is a cost of living crisis when you look at some of the cars in here and some of the people around me while I was in there. I don't begrudge people wealth. I mean, good on you if you've got it. But, you know, if you come to somewhere like this, it's like a little bit of an isolated bubble. And yeah, it's not the full perspective on the reality that most of the population or us are living. But hey ho, it's always fascinating to look and you know, just see how other people potentially are living. But yeah, I've got my stuff and I'm gonna head out of here. But I was actually, just before I ran this video up, I was actually watching a program where they were saying that this is potentially, or is, the best particular point in humanity's history to be alive and you know, experience life in general as a human being. Now, it made me stop and think, why are so many of us then disenfranchised with how things are politically and socially? Now that's a big question and not one that I have an answer for, but it did make me stop and think, you know, this is the best time in the whole of humanity's existence and evolution to be alive. And you can understand the reasoning for it, but like I just said, there's so many of us disenfranchised with so much of what's going on. But yeah, that's something I'm going to have to figure out with a glass of wine on a winter's evening when I got the log burner going and I can stare for hours into the flames and try to come up with an answer. But I'm going to leave this video here. Bit of a different one, but yeah, this is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Thanks for coming along on a very horrendous day, just seeing what a little bit of my surf experience involves. All the best, take care, stay safe. Andy.